Yes.
Hey girl, hey.
Oh, hi. Hello. Hi.
Hey. Hello.
Hi. Hi.
How's everything?
It's
How are
good.
you doing? How was your week, Queen?
My week. My week was my week. I had
Oh.
a I had a eventful weekend. Or no, I didn't. That shit wasn't on the weekend. It was during the week too. I would like to shout out listener Leandra
Listen on
for
Leandra. Good God.
coming through with the come through. Oh, I'm going first, I guess. She invited us, but you couldn't come, sadly, to dinner party concert, which is Robert Glasper, Terrence Martin, Kamasi Washington, and friends.
Is it Terrence or
Wait,
Therese? What's the nickname?
pretty sure it's Terrence, sister. Um, it was lovely. She was lovely. First of all, Leandra, what a pleasure you are. Leandra is gorgeous. I was like, wait, what? Leandra had no makeup on her face and was shining, 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 shiny. She was gorgeous. But it was just a great show. And Robert Glasper is amazing, even though we don't know who the fuck he is. But Kamasi Washington, that dude is different. It's a different energy. Like he knows how to really rock a crowd with that damn sax. And he was,
That damn sex.
I'm serious, like he had us going. And so what a amazing show. If you have the opportunity, make sure you look them up, check them out, and go to their show. I also went to see Emotional Oranges. Do you know them?
Absolutely not.
I feel like you would like them. Emotional Oranges is managed by Rory. Like, who knew that? I didn't. From Rory and Mal. But I went with Bridget to their
Which
show,
one
and
is
they're
he?
like
The
this.
white guy? Rory's the white
Yeah,
guy.
they're like this very. Apparently, they're huge, like in Europe and Australia and shit. But they're like an R&B kind of funk, kind of emo, alternative, but like dance
I love it.
vibe. The girl is like super funky and cool, dope singer. They don't do too much vocally, but it's just enough. We're like, oh, this is a groove. That's what it is. It's a groove. It's a vibe. And it was a lot of fun. Had like a lot of just a music filled kind of week. In other news, work was very slow, and so I was able to sit with myself a bit.
Oh, hated it.
I didn't hate it, but I was realizing how ready and willing I am to quote unquote go after it and like create the life that I want for myself. And I've been trying to figure out what that is and just really like I've been writing even the advertising places that we work with and like, hi, are there any opportunities to like just being more proactive and things and getting comfortable doing that. I feel like outside of this podcast and probably even a little bit with this podcast that I in the last couple of years have been waiting for things to come to me. That I've just been like putting stuff out and saying like, okay, someone will see this or something's gonna happen or I'm gonna let the universe manifest. I'm like, fuck that. You still gotta submit a resume, queen. Like most places, you gotta show up and let folks know who you are. And after the dinner party show, we were talking backstage. Oh, you would have loved it. Bilal was there. I was thinking about you, his little strange, small
Nigga.
self. But we were talking with the DJ, and I don't remember his name, but he was asking me about the podcast. And again, I did not know how to describe it. I didn't. It's like we have that catchy, like, oh, we explore the profound and the profound. Well, what the fuck does that mean? What does it mean? And so I asked Leandra, and I was like, how would you describe the podcast? And even she was like, oh, they talk politics, they talk a little bit of pop culture, they talk a lot about like lifestyle and coming of age, but it's like rooted in friendship. Like their friendship is a big part of the podcast, and we get to listen in and kind of feel like we're a part of it. And that made sense, but it still doesn't feel like a neat bow.
Yeah,
you know,
you gotta go back. It's hard. Mission statements are
so
and
hard.
Elevator pitches are very hard.
They're so hard.
They take years to develop. For real, like a solid mission statement.
I'm sick of that. We need a draft at least. We do, but it doesn't tell the story for real. And I'm like, so listeners, I'm saying all this to say, help. Do some work for us. Let us know what you think. How would you summarize this podcast? I'm so serious. It was so helpful to hear what she thought. It really was. And, I think that with some listener feedback and maybe even reading some of the reviews, maybe we can help piece something together there. But I really want to pitch this shit. I really want to, we have something special, and I don't want us to sit around, or myself, and wait for stuff to come to us. We're deserving. We need to walk into these spaces. We need to be just letting people know about the dope work that we're doing and feel confident in that. So that's where I'm at. And then lastly, I just want to shout out our editor, Monty. It was his birthday. Y'all don't know Monty. Monty is the phantom in the background, just writing us emails, telling us what we said wrong, giving us his thoughts and feedback, letting us know how we recorded shit wrong, fixing stuff at the final hour because we didn't read the email until the final hour, staying up with us until 4:00 in the morning sometimes. Shout out to Monty.
Happy birthday, Pisces King.
The real MVP, and you know who you are. And if y'all need an editor, I don't know if you need more work, Monty, but this is a plug. If you need an editor, email us and then we'll forward your shit to Monty, because I don't know if he wants us to give his email out, so I won't do that. But yeah, if you need a podcast editor or you need to pick somebody's brain for maybe a fee, he's a great resource.
He's also a part of the Talking People podcast as well.
Yes, he's a host there. Shout out to him.
Speaking of, just want to clarify, it is Therese. It's not Terrence. Terrence Martin is a Hollywood director.
It's Therese? I love myself. Did you Google it?
I know his name is Therese, and I appreciate how confidently you said, no, it's not, but it's Therese.
I heard Terrence from the stage.
It sounds and looks like it should be Terrence, because I've never heard that name before.
From the stage. I feel like I'm getting nervous.
It's not his name. I know it's not his name.
You Googled it. But why isn't it Terrence?
I don't know, but
Leandra. My bad. Also, that's part of this podcast charm. Continue.
Well, I have been in deep prayer over here because it's hard over here in Philadelphia. It is an emotional roller coaster, and I'm going through something, and I'll make it on the other side, God willing, inshallah. But I've been listening to my girl, Carolyn Mace, my little angry Polish Irish gnome that I talk about. She's like a spiritualist. She's responsible for Anatomy of the Spirit. I mentioned my boy Gabor Mate in the past. You weren't on this episode, but she's in the same vein as him, although she connects illness to spiritual misalignment in a way that he connects physical illness to like trauma, like a more emotional thing. I guess they're very much deeply connected. But anyway, I go on YouTube and I've been listening to her videos, and she's talking about prayer because, as I talked about last couple weeks ago, I feel like I'm at a space like I do not have the tools anymore. I need some intervention. And she doesn't mince her words. And she has this one video. She's talking about the power of prayer. But she's like, in order for you to have, to even begin to water your mustard seed of faith in God, you have to have faith in yourself. You have to, in order for you to like overcome these obstacles, and most importantly, fuck obstacles, in order for you to create a relationship in which you can identify and trust God's voice, quote unquote, you have to be in deep relationship with your own voice and trust that first. But if you're like doubting yourself, if you're constantly betraying yourself or in conflict with yourself, God is probably talking to you all the time, but you don't even listen to yourself. What the fuck do you think you're going to have, this deep guidance? And I was like, bitch. And so I've been thinking about the ways in which I don't think it's really interesting hearing you talk about wanting to create the life that you want. And it's, again, duality. I think we're on the same path, but the ways in which we go about it, or the ways in which we explore it, are really different. And I've just been sitting with how I feel, of course, and the life that I want to feel, and the type of inner products or inner blossoms that I want to experience. And I was sitting with myself after she had said that, and I was like, yo, I betray myself often. I make promises to myself that I can't keep. And it has eroded my self-esteem in a way because of it. And I was lying there and a voice came to me, which is, me. And I was like, girl, you have addictions. You have serious addictions. And my addiction to social media is a real thing. It takes up a lot of time. It fucks with I really think I may have ADHD, like I have undiagnosed ADHD, but it fucks with my ability to concentrate in a deep way that I know is impacting my productivity, is impacting my thought patterns, and I have to get it together. It's just a waste of my time. I notice myself on my phone with my daughter watching, and this has been since she was a little being. She saw me like crunched over on my fucking phone, and I try to like police her about screen time, but here she sees me like spending an hour on the couch looking at my phone. And so I'm really trying to build this faith in myself. I really want to build my self-esteem so that I can trust myself, so that I can hear myself, so that, I can deepen my relationship with myself and God. And so I got this Freedom app on, I just looked up like how to block your social media. People have talked about it before, but I'm going to pay for it. It's Freedom app. I couldn't find one that was free that I understood how to interface with. And because I have ADD, I was like, I'm not spending time looking at this. So I found the Freedom app, and you could block it out. It disconnects the internet connection to the apps for whatever reason. So you can go click on the Instagram, but it's just going to keep spinning. Like there's going to be no new feed, or you're not going to get any notifications. And this is my commitment to myself, is to become more aware and to break my addiction and use it for the tool that it is, versus this space of like distraction and whatever the fuck Instagram is, this weird world that it is. Because
have you looked into I think that's great, but have you looked into Dr. Huberman's explanation for why social media is addictive?
I know it just says dopamine hits. It's engineered and designed to be addictive. So
Are you getting dopamine hits from anything else? That's what I had to ask myself when I was constantly scrolling. I was like, what are you looking for, and why aren't you getting it from any other aspect of your life? Like, that's
I think, I mean, probably, like, I have Joe. So Joe's like, a relationship where we love up on each other. And sure, I don't think my life is void. Maybe it's distracting me from creating those.
Or even seeing it.
And seeing it just takes up it's a serious addiction that I have made light of, that I know once I commit to this, I can start I can start building this self-esteem that I need to like show up in my life and trust my gut. I think I have a really good gut, but I don't be listening to myself, child. The fuck? And I'm blaming it on Meta, and I want to sue them with all of these other states.
You should.
So watch out. I'm getting a lawsuit from Meta for destroying my life and eroding my self-esteem and making me make poor decisions. Who wants to join me? I think
that's real, and that's commendable. I've noticed some habits of my own that are a bit concerning, both with the phone and with the computer. But my thing with the computer is going into our podcast account and checking the downloads maybe 5 or 6 times in an hour. It hasn't changed. It doesn't even change that fast.
Yeah,
you're hitting refresh. Going to and looking at the reviews. It refreshes once a day, bitch. And the like, it's going to the email and hitting refresh. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now?
What do you want? What do you want in this moment? What are you doing?
So, kudos to you. I'm proud of you.
Check in. Everybody check in with your girl.
Ciao. And also, social media is a great way to numb and distract. You keep mentioning that you're going through things. I'm privy to what those things are. So,
but is this also for 10 years? It's not like just this one thing. This has been a habit for the lifetime of my daughter. All of us. First it was Facebook. We're all deeply addicted to social media. And we think it's like, it's not like alcohol. I'm not shooting up heroin. But like, again, my daughter has, for the majority of her life, has seen a phone in my hand and me like scrolling. And I have the nerve to tell her not to do it. Anyway.
Tricky.
Updates.
Well, speaking of social media, please follow us, rate, subscribe, and share the podcast.
Our Instagram at Around the Way Girls.
The danger. That is social media, all right? Just get on there, do that, get right off, okay? Only follow us. That's how you can steer clear of getting addicted, because we don't really put out that much. So if you're only following us, you got one thing to see, hop right on off now, y'all. Shanti, how can the people watch this podcast if they don't want to be on social media?
Faces. I'm actually going to apply some more lipstick as well. I really love this Anastasia. Anyway, you would have seen that in real time if you were our patron on Patreon. What is Patreon? Let me tell you, Patreon is a subscription platform in which you can watch creators' content. Most of it is video content. All of our podcasts are recorded, so you could see us talking our shit, looking like ourselves, for a fee of $5, $7, or $10 if you're a real one. And it helps us to create content. It helps us to feel rewarded and that we are in relationship with the work that we're doing. So we appreciate you. We also have no marketing budget, so this is dependent on you guys to get the word out. It's a lot of pressure. We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
I heard it too. I just slobbered on myself. And you would have seen that on
what is this, NPR? The fuck?
All right, y'all. Let's go pay some bills. I still don't like how that sounds. Let's go do it though, and then we'll be right back with hot shit.
We a radio station.
Politics as usual. This is what the podcasts do. I be listening to podcasts now sometimes or whatever. Politics as usual, hot shit, and pop culture on the other side of this break. You ain't wrote a break in yet, child. You ain't write no time. You struggling today. I ain't gonna say
Oh
that.
my
I
goodness.
said my ADHD friend.
I think I do. I gotta get some Ritalin.
I was on there
Is it
doing.
Ritalin?
I was looking for the yeah. They got some other shit too. It's called.
No, it's not Ritalin. It's
I feel that it is. This is the
another
same
name.
way his name is Terrence.
You're like, no, it's Terrence.
I love myself. Why did I hear Terrence?
Because it's
Was I
Therese.
listening? Was
'Cause
I
whose
at
name
the
is
show?
Therese, Antoinette. Whose name is that? Not many people. Okay.
Hate it.
Just kidding.
I want you to know
Ritalin?
that when you guys come up here, I'm gonna do my best to make sure that they stay cold.
Adderall. My apologies. Go ahead.
But I made chocolate covered strawberries for y'all. Had nothing to do. I got a double boiler. I was like, gonna get dark chocolate, not milk chocolate, because healthy. And I was like, I'm gonna make chocolate covered strawberries for them. And then I had extra chocolate, and I cut up some bananas. Bitch, delicious. Cut up a banana, put it in the chocolate, and freeze it. Have one at the end of the night. I said, this is so good. No, it's really good.
I believe it. I should make JoJo. I should just say, this is your dessert.
You should. No, really. You should give her like.
I can't wait for that. What are we gonna?
I gotta
how are we
keep
gonna
it
enjoy
cold.
them?
I gotta keep it cold somehow because if that chocolate melts, it's not the same. It's just a hot ass strawberry with melted dark chocolate. Need an ice pack? I don't know, but they are so good.
I feel like
And
you would
the
have a
fact that
cooler. You don't have a cooler?
I don't have a cooler. I used to have a lunch pail, and I don't have that anymore either.
Wow.
I know, slipping. So I gotta figure that out. That's another thing. But I did make them. The way Black is gonna be so irritated when I come in there, like, here's. I'm like, get out, stupid.
He knows, of course, Amanda's coming, right?
Yeah. He was like, oh, so I'm just doing free photo shoots.
I know. I was surprised. I was
You
like,
and your
really?
friends? I was like, yeah. I was like, you know, Amanda, you like her. He
What
was
can we
like,
give him? No, for real. What does he enjoy?
He loves this candle that he won't treat himself to. It's one of those stupid candles. Ooh, they're so expensive for no reason. M.A., you know what I'm talking about? They sell them at Kith. M.A. Shaheed likes them too. I got Shaheed one for doing the logo. The way.
You mean the JPEG, Joan?
The way.
JPEG? The things you've done.
The
for Big
thing.
Shy.
The things I've done. Anyway.
Man has good karma. Give it to
we not talking about this one. We still record, bitch. But it's a.
Man
It's
got
a
some good karma. That's all I got to say.
we got we could get him a candle. He loves sourdough bread. He don't like nothing. The stuff that he likes is
Why
really
would you
expensive
just
that we
say
can't
that?
afford. He fucking loves sourdough. He gets
sourdough bread.
and he loves that white chocolate cookies and cream.
No, we're not giving that to
thing.
him because we want him to thrive.
I give
and
it to him
survive.
all the time. It's terrible.
Don't.
That's how I pay for photo shoots. I feel like here's 2 bars of white chocolate. It's
Can we
terrible.
go online and buy that for him now?
Yeah, we should do that. Get him that. But the stuff he likes is like Leica cameras that are $5,000. Mechans. We could maybe we
With some socks.
get him
or
a
something?
gas card. He got to put
That's a
diesel-
good one.
He got to put fancy premium gas in his car.
Yes, he does. Yes, he
That's
does.
a good one. All right, gas card and a candle. That's enough.
Seems
It's
like fair
sourdough bread.
compensation for me.
There you go.
For a-
Photo shoot my ass. We don't have the pictures from the last photo shoot. Matter of fact, let me go ahead.
No, because I'd like to see them so I can feel better about myself.
You'll feel better about yourself. I'd like to never see myself again so I can feel better about myself.
Girl,
Photos,
you're worthy.
mirrors, gone. All right, ready? Are we back?
Yeah.
Are you about to write this or am I?
You can listen. Go ahead.
Don't come for Monty. First of all, that's not where you put that.
Where does it go then?
You're crazy lunatic. Monty, what's going on? What's going on? All right. And we are back. Hot shit. I have a couple things. This Coco Jones, it's got a song called ICU, and I love it.
Girl, I thought she was in the ICU. I said, oh no, what's a terrible medical update? Oh my God. Girl, I said, I didn't see that on the Shade Room. I hope she's okay. It's Coco
Oh
Jones. Why
my
does everyone
God.
love
I
her?
hope that's her. Is that the right name? Look it up on Spotify. She's the new it girl, the new it R&B girl. And I like her voice.
Well, she's
a beautiful young lady. Yes. But this ICU song is it's so pretty. It's so stripped back. Very well, I gotta read more. What's it when there's not a lot of stuff?
Nice. Banging.
No.
That joint banging.
What is it called?
It's giving vibes.
Okay. Next up, The Strays. Did you watch it on Netflix? Okay. We're going to need to talk about this, so I won't go into it. But I want all the Around the Way Curls listeners, if you haven't yet, please watch The Strays, because I want to talk about this in depth. It's on Netflix. It is a movie. It's a new psychological horror film that just dropped on Netflix, written and directed by Nathaniel Martello White. IMDb's official synopsis reads, a Black woman's meticulously crafted life of privilege starts to unravel when two strangers show up in her quaint suburban town. It's giving British Get Out. There's a lot of themes of generational trauma, colorism, motherhood, abandonment, classism.
Did you watch Passing with Tessa Thompson in it?
Hated it, yeah.
Hated it. It's better than that.
Boo.
Boo.
Yeah. Get that shit out of here.
As two light-skinned biracial women, boo.
Why am I can you see me slobbering? It's so much just coming out. I went to the dentist today. I wonder if they did something wrong. Like, why am I slobbering this much? I feel like maybe some of the plaque was catching some of the slobber.
Oh no, you got teeth. Yo, when you get your teeth clean and then you feel that, I said, I didn't know this space in between my teeth exists.
What the fuck is this? Can you believe I'm getting Invisalign?
You are.
Mm-hmm. This tooth is shifting forward.
White teeth, chiclets.
First of all, Invisalign is not about whitening. It's about this tooth is shifting forward. This one tooth is, that I had super buck teeth with a huge gap. So the gap is starting to come back, and this tooth is going quite forward. I can see it in pictures and stuff now, and even the dentist was like, oh yeah, that's going to keep shifting. Because my bottom teeth, once my whatchamacallits grew in. What do they call? My wisdom teeth grew in. They were not impacted, so that's great. But they did shift my. I hit the mic, Monty. Sorry. They did shift my teeth forward, so my bottom teeth are now kind of crowded, but they're crowded in a way that when I bite down, the bite is forcing my front two teeth forward again. And I said, "Oh, Nelly."
Wearing it to bed, or so you gotta walk around with it?
I gotta walk around with them in my mouth for 8 months, and I paid for it today. I'm broke. I can't. Can Around the Way Curls pay us out this month? I'm broke.
Can it? Please.
Let's talk about it later. I'm
depressed.
Like,
please,
why are we doing all this
so that
for
see
free?
what we're using the money towards? Our actual
my raggedy mouth. Right.
We're not buying nice things. We're keeping our fucking bodies together.
Thank you.
Help us.
Anyway, back to The Strays. Watch the movie, y'all. I have thoughts. I might boo this. I might cheer it. I'm not sure, but boo to Passing. That's
a shame. They was being artsy.
That was not artsy.
So
That
when the
was.
hell is this shit gonna begin? And what the hell just happened?
When is it gonna end and why? What was the point? What were you saying? Like, I get it. She's passing, but next. Where's the subtext? What's going on? Anyway.
But go on.
What I'm not concerned about is Jonathan Majors playing Dennis Rodman in this upcoming biopic. I think it's going to be great. You look like you have a difference of opinion, and I'm
I have
concerned.
a popular opinion about that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He's going to tear this up. What are you about to say?
No, I think the role, his selection, using him to play Dennis Rodman is chef's kiss. Wonderful.
Great casting.
But Rashid made a good point. He said that at this point, he's working really, like, Jonathan Majors is working. He's doing about 11 jobs. And that the capacity, you're stretched thin in a way. So how well can you really show up when you're doing a million things? And then he needs a little bit more
to stop
time.
projecting onto Jonathan Majors. He got this shit. You and Rashid can shut the fuck up. Jonathan Majors is booking his gigs as an actor.
No, he's booking.
He's the new Chadwick.
I think
he's out here. Remember when Chadwick was doing it all? He was doing Marvel, and then he was every black person in every historical film. This is Jonathan now. It's his time. Let him cook. He gonna take a break.
I think let him cook is the thing. I think he got to cook just a little bit more.
For his acting chops?
Mm-hmm.
You tripping. You're tripping. I watched Creed. I also took myself on a date to go see Creed 3, even though I said I wasn't going to. And shout out to the person who called and was like, Creed 1 was the one that was in Philly, Antoinette. The other two were in LA. Yeah. The whole Rocky series, though, is based off of Philly. Philly Strong 215. Brah, brah. Listen.
What?
Jonathan Majors was incredible in that film. He filled up the space. He did his fucking thing.
He did better than the other boy.
Michael B. Jordan. Ciao. He was the weakest one in the whole film. Shout out to him. He was a great director, though. I think Michael B. Jordan is a director. He directed that movie beautifully. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to. I'm not acting
down in that. It's really not a strong opinion. I think I was just talking. I just said it to keep.
Don't backtrack, bitch.
No, I can. I have a free will. Nothing. We can all say things and apologize. I think I was just talking. I actually don't know, and I'm excited to see him in this. I think the Dennis Rodman biopic is the entertainment that we need.
Yes. Also, what we need is, we have a love for Bob Ross here on Around the Way Curls. That is the God. I am excited about Owen Wilson playing him. I saw the flyer. It was like, that looks great.
Is it a drama?
Afro. I feel that it is a drama.
Okay.
And I can't wait to learn more about Bob Ross.
The God.
What was up with him and the animals? How did he do that? I feel like it's going to be like what Tom Hanks did for, what's the homie? What was his name? That was incredible. Come on. He was reading to us and he had the choo-choo train.
Oh, my nigga.
Damn.
The
I know
neighbor.
Listeners are saying it right now.
Hello, neighbor.
Won't you be my neighbor?
We are so...
Type that. Won't you be my neighbor? What's his name? I can't stand us.
Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers.
Fred Rogers. I was about to say, you disrespectful. Nobody called by his first name.
That's what? Mr. Rogers to you, your disrespectful new age ass
I'm like, what? No. Anyway, very excited. Can't wait to be front row and center for this Bob Ross movie. You got something on here.
In the white excellence, we want to pay homage and RIP to the blue-eyed soul brother Bobby Caldwell, who recently died today, actually, at 71 from a degenerative disease. He is responsible for hits of What You Won't Do For Love, which has been sampled widely in the Black community.
Because everybody thought it was a black person.
For many Black people to realize that it was actually a white man responsible for that. Although I do not like this man, he was sampled on Common's I will be by your side. There is a light that shines. R.I.P.
Special
Bobby.
for you and me. Contrary to public opinion, or no, it's not public. Public opinion is that we love you singing, but you have like real. That was the key. I'm pretty
I
sure
can
that.
sing. I'm not playing. And when I get
know.
really serious, I can sing.
I agree.
You should train me.
No. You might have a better ear than me, if I'm being honest. Like you might. I would
Next
probably have
video
to play
coming
that.
out is me singing on the
Matter
wall.
of fact, Black, you heard it here first. You gonna be filming Shotzi singing
What song
Halo.
would I sing?
Halo. That was the first thing we ever heard you sing.
Halo.
Jasmine was like, wait, she could sing a little bit.
Stop playing with me.
Shout out to the God. All right. Here we go. Politics as usual. Here goes Antoinette on her bullshit. Listen, first of all, look how I spell Silicon Valley.
Silicone.
If y'all saw these outlines. Anyway, the Silicon Valley Bank has collapsed, which turned Twitter into a frenzy. People were very nervous about, oh my God, what does this mean? Are we going into a recession? Is the stock market going to plummet? And rightfully so, people were nervous. SVB was the 20th largest bank, which in comparison to other banks, it was quite small. When we're talking about the major players, the Wells Fargo, the Chases, they're in the trillions of dollars. SVB was in the billions. So let's talk about it. SVB is a bank that did a lot of venture capital, which means it invested in startup companies, which is the riskiest investment you can make. 50% of startups fail. So a lot of spaces, like they don't even allow banks to invest in startup companies in this way. But the bank wanted to be very aggressive and grow, but there was a barrier in place, and that was the Dodd-Frank Financial Reform Package bill. All right. And that bill was basically one put into place after the big financial collapse a couple years ago. Before, I think that was Obama when he bailed out the banks.
2008.
Yeah. If you were a bank with more than $50 billion in assets, you had to meet certain requirements of the federal government in order to ensure you're not being too risky with the investments or run the risk of failing. So there were a lot of safeguards in place, way too many to list here. But if the bank, so they did that because if a bank fails, it causes panic. Everyone withdraws their money and the stock market plummets and the US money market is basically turned upside down on its head. So they had to put those safeguards in place also to make sure that the government never needs to bail out another fucking bank. So this bank and others successfully put pressure on Congress when Trump was in office to roll back the Dodd-Frank Financial Reform Package bill. And they basically said, listen, we're trying to grow. We're having a hard time growing because we want to invest in these startup companies. It'll be really good for the economy for us to invest in said startup companies so that they create jobs. And we can't do that because of this bill. So we think that bill should only apply to banks worth $250 billion, not $50 billion. Congress and Trump overturned this and gave into these banks. And basically, the provisions that would stop banks from playing freely with your money were no longer in place. So SVB then begins to invest in a ton of startups while the interest rates were super duper low. So that's very appealing to the rich folks who are saying, yo, I'm coming to this bank for a loan. They're already rich, but I have this startup company that I'm a part of. This person's a part of, that person's a part of. Interest rates are low. Give us a loan, yada, yada, yada. Perfect. So, SVB went from having $40 billion to $200 billion in less than 6 years.
When you say
based off of this venture capital. Go ahead.
When when you say invested in startups, you mean that
They gave them loans.
they gave them loans, and
They gave them.
the startups had their banking
So they
operations
were
were
successful.
in SVB. So if I'm a startup, I got a $50 million loan from them, and that's where I do all of my banking operations from that bank.
So right. So basically, they also convinced very wealthy people to bank with them. And not only to bank with them, but to put all of their money in this bank. Not just, most people have a portfolio that is very diverse, meaning their money is in a bunch of different places. Why? Because the federal government only insures $250,000, not million, $1,000 of your money in a bank. So let's say if a bank fumbles or folds, and you and we'll get our money back. We ain't got $250,000 in no goddamn bank account nowhere. But other folks who have a lot more wealth than us, they might not get all their money back. So they diversify their portfolio. They put some in this bank, some in this bank, some in stocks, some in bonds. They do that to make sure that if anything happens, they still have a cushion somewhere else. This bank specifically was really good at convincing folks, no, just put all of your money with us. We're the way to go. Look at how we're growing exponentially. Like, we're making money. We know how to handle your money, basically. Which this risk analysis, I don't know.
Doesn't make some stuff feel right with that. But like, that don't make sense.
That was bad on the bank's part. That was bad on the person who's putting their money in. It just
don't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense. But folks did it. So, with that said, they had a huge expansion. Again, $45 billion to $200 billion in less than 6 years. So they need a place to put this money to help it grow because the bank wants to make money too. So SVB puts a bunch of the money in U.S. government bonds, and they take 30 years to mature. Most often, people think of this as a very safe investment because of how long it takes to mature, and it's just not. It's not in a volatile market where anything can happen and they fluctuate very quickly. But they did this while the interest rates were very low. Fast forward to 2022, inflation skyrockets due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and motherfuckers can't get oil. And the feds raise the interest rates to try to combat inflation. Now, with the interest rates going way up, that there's more pressure on the startup companies, and it basically kind of combusts Silicon Valley's ecosystem. So startups start to collapse. Tech companies are laying off workers, et cetera, because the loans they took out with the bank are now so much more burdensome because the interest rates are so much higher on those loans. So this means that companies who were banking with SVB, they needed cash. And so they needed to take some cash out of the bank. Well, much of their cash that they put in the bank were tied up in these fucking bonds that take 30 years to accrue, that are quote unquote safe. So SVB did this, and they freaked, and they decided to sell their entire $21.4 billion bond portfolio in a 24-hour period. This spooks everyone because they took a $2 billion loss. So it showed them like, okay, if this bank is willing to take a $2 billion loss and they need to sell this stuff off within 24 hours, that means that's how many people are trying to get this money out of the bank. And if I don't hurry up and try to get my money out of the bank, that the money that they basically sold on these bond portfolios, it might dry up, and I might not be able to get my money because everybody else is rushing to get theirs because they don't actually have insured, and the money is not insured.
Yeah.
So that then starts something called a bank run, and that's when you basically take all of your money out of the bank. The bank can't operate, and now you have the bank basically imploding. Like, for example, Roku had $500,000 just sitting in an account with them. $500,000 of uninsured money. And it's just like, what? Like, who was advising these people? So the
Something
result
don't
is
make sense, girl.
the result is that the government now steps in and they have to take the bank over because of this bank run. And so now folks on social media keep saying that the bank is getting, this is where I'm like, all right, folks got to do their research. They're saying, oh, the bank's getting a bailout. We're so sick of banks getting a bailout. The bank it's not the same thing that we saw years ago. Taxpayer dollars is not paying for this bailout. Like, all banks have to pay into a fund, like a yearly fee. And it's basically like an insurance policy around if this ever happens. And within that pool of money, that's the money that's replenishing these people. It's already been determined that everybody's going to get their money that they invested. But because of all banks have to pay a certain percentage of what they have into this fund, there's enough to cover these folks where it won't impact taxpayers. But I say all this to say this is a very interesting case. It's something to watch. I'm not trying to, because it's illegal to incite a bank run. So I'm not telling people to take their money out by any means. I didn't take any of my money out of my accounts and things like that, because that's what causes this kind of thing. I say all this to say it's socialism that's fixing capitalism at the end of the day. Once again, when these banks or these fucking auto companies go under, they get bailouts. And that, my friends, is where the government steps in and they have to fix the broken system that is capitalism. That was the point of all of that.
Yeah.
Any questions? I did a lot of that was hard.
Something don't make sense now. That's all I got to say.
Why did they invest that money?
Something doesn't make sense with the investment of that. I guess that doesn't make sense. But I mean, I guess they didn't think that the I don't know.
The company's growing so much.
Who would accept that kind of risk, or if they knew that the economy was going to flip like that. But also, I think the what is that called when you whisper in somebody's ear and then they whisper in the other person's ear? I think it's illegal for you to share.
It is
those kind of inside workings, and so whoever got wind of that bank trying to fumble or trying to fix the fumble that they had, because they didn't necessarily.
Oh no, that was public. That was public when they sold all those.
I thought that the government actually told all of its folks and said, "Listen, we're going to sell these bonds to get this back."
No, the government didn't sell the bonds. The bank sold the bonds.
No, I know. I think from what I heard was that the bank let its clients know that that's what it was going to do to recoup. And then they had some other plan to recover the $2 billion that they lost. But people got so scared that they couldn't execute their plan and took all their money. And that something was illegal or fishy about everybody hearing, everybody doing the run.
The
Something
bank
about
run.
these billionaires, the people that held a lot of money that
they're blaming
told
that
each
on
other.
social media right now. Because people were talking about it. It was trending. And so people were talking about it. It was this hot topic. And so I listened to someone else who owns another bank. They're not affiliated with this one. But he was saying all of those very high profile financial folks that were spreading this information basically helped incite a bank run.
Well,
and that's illegal and they should be brought up on charges.
Yeah,
and I was like, whoa, that's interesting. Because what if they're just reporting what's happening?
But also, isn't this all just precariously fragile?
Yes.
It's just wildly disagreements that we make in society. And then if one thing goes wrong, it all falls apart and then everything could be complete chaos.
Listen, crazy.
God is good.
Last thing for me, and then I'll shut up. I just want to say Ozempic. This is something that Jimmy Fallon made fun of at the Oscars. And I actually have a friend who was telling me that they were about to start taking this and suggested that I do it. It is a drug that is for type 2 diabetes.
Oh.
And lots of people... Oh, no. Well, lots of people are taking it because the side effects of it is that it's an appetite suppressant. And that people are losing weight on it because it slows the digestive tract down and makes you feel fuller. It's an injectable drug that you take once a week. and people are using it to lose weight.
Wow.
It has a slew of side effects, and even
my
that are fatal. It also has a black box warning, which
What does that mean?
I know what a black box warning is based off of my work. It's basically a black box warning is like the FDA is saying these side effects are so important that they need to be called out on your label in a way that it is visually prominent.
Like a cigarette ad?
It's like
a cigarette
boom,
label?
here's the warning. Exactly.
But you could fuck around and find out if you want to.
Listen, there are people who have severe health concerns or severe obesity that do use it, and that it is recommended by doctors because they're at that point where like they really need it. There are other people who are using it. A lot of celebrities are using it. Now I'm finding out regular folks are using it because doctors are prescribing it, because a lot of insurance companies for the celebrities, they decline the claim because they don't have type 2 diabetes, so they pay out of pocket for it and maybe pay extra.
What's wrong with us?
The saddest part is that there is now a shortage of it for people who really fucking need it.
Burn it down. Unsustainable. Do we deserve this? We don't.
When I read this, I was like, wait, we're taking drugs from people who have type 2 diabetes?
4. Is there such thing? Did you say type 4 diabetes?
I said type 2.
Oh.
Now,
type 4.
Don't play with me. Type 4 is, I'm sure, coming. If it's not here already. But we're literally taking their drugs for our vanity and treating our bodies like, and faces like trends. Burn it down. I don't have anything else to say, but you need to think about your humanity.
What a hollow, weird society we had. Where are these people's self-esteem, faith in themselves?
Well,
what's wrong with us?
You know what? I don't know if that's fair, because now as I sit and think about it, there are going to be people who say, you don't know how much I suffer from body image, body dysmorphia. You don't understand how much I suffer mentally and emotionally from being overweight, and so I need this drug too. I say to you, no. You might need therapy, but this drug is life-saving for other folks. And I hope that doesn't sound
dangerous to your body.
It's also dangerous.
Listen, trauma, suffering, pain, intolerable emotional pain is a real thing and deserves attention and empathy. But in the same way that a heroin addict may be experiencing that kind of like internal emotional pain, does not justify the abuse that it causes their body and the consequences of it. It's you love your body, or you want your body to be this certain way, but you're hurting it.
Yeah.
I understand, but it's like, no, there has to be another way. Speaking of, there has to be another way.
Listen to this shit. If people think I believe in democracy, then that it's working. Anyway, go ahead. Listen to us. We just tearing this shit down every week. Go ahead. Burn it down.
A Biden administration.
Joseph Robinette.
The Willow
fucking respect. Joseph Robinette. Put some respect on his full name.
Robinette, the girl. The Biden administration recently approved the Willow Project, which is angering many people due to its blatant contradictions to his earlier environmental promises. The Willow Project, originally approved by Trump, is the largest oil drilling venture initiated in the United States by ConocoPhillips. The site of this hopeful venture is
who's ConocoPhillips?
ConocoPhillips is an oil company. It's
a
major drilling and oil company with, I guess, locations all around the world. But the site in which they have found oil and want to begin drilling is in Alaska's North Slope in the National Petroleum Reserve, which means it is owned by federal land. The potential earnings of this could be $8 billion for the government, what to speak of the profit earnings by ConocoPhillips. The area in which they want to drill holds up to 600 million barrels of oil, and the proposed project will commit to a 30-year extraction plan in what many concerned natives environmentalists call sensitive ecosystems along native Alaskan land and communities. The project is projected, and this is by the federal analysis, which of course might be skewed now. The project is projected to emit 280 million metric tons of carbon emissions, the equivalent to adding nearly 2 million cars to the road each year. And this is during a time that many scientists say we need to halt the existing fossil fuel, reserves that we have. What to speak of starting new ones? Like, we have to deal with what we have and stop what we have. What to speak of doing this again? And again, this is 30-year plan. 30 years, they're like, yep, we're still going to be dependent on fossil fuels. In 2020, the Alaskan judge.
I'm asking. Is that what they said, that they're still going to be dependent? Like dependent?
If you're going to invest in a 30-year oil reserve drilling program, yeah, for 30 years, you plan on getting oil. I don't know if I agree with
that, but go ahead, keep on.
You don't agree?
On. No, keep on.
30-year extraction plan?
Keep on.
This is during a time where the scientists are globally pleading with governments and corporations to halt all new fossil fuel projects to stop the world from warming. In 2020, this project was halted by an Alaskan judge because the proposal failed to detail the impact on the environment properly. But as I just stated, Biden has now picked this back up after reviewing a supplemental report that the company has created that is a little bit more extensive about the impact that it's going to make. And so initially I wanted to be really upset with Biden, and I still do. I still am, and a lot of people still are. But to his credit, he basically had his hands tied behind his back. The reason being is that the company, what did I just say their name was? The company, ConocoPhillips, has a contract with the government, basically saying like, yo, we signed a contract, we have a lease over this land. In this contract, this is what we said we're going to do. We've provided you with all the environmental information that you need to know, like, what the fuck is up? So Biden would actually or the administration, the government would actually face a lawsuit from this company for over $8 billion, not only for the amount that they have already invested in the site, as well as the lost profits that they would have over it. So that's a reason
signed that lease. Do you know?
Trump approved this originally. So I lost my place here.
Sorry.
He also, it was facing a lot of pressure actually from the Democratic Alaskan congresswoman there in Alaska, saying like, yo, this is going to be really good for the economy here. There was a lot of pressure from
favor
her
of it.
Because, it's an impoverished area. And she was like, let's get this money for this community. We need it. And, this just goes, it's really disheartening for a lot of people because this goes against everything that he said, in April of 2021, when he had America rejoin the Paris Agreement, and he made these claims that America was going to tackle the climate crisis by cutting emissions 50 to 52% by 2030 to reaching a net zero emissions no later than 2050. He had these really huge goals. He made a statement while he was campaigning, no more drilling on federal lands, period. So a lot of people feel betrayed by him. A lot of people are saying that this is like life or death. This is not the fact that there is a legal, I guess that's where I'm at with it. Is like, fuck a lawsuit. Like, I don't understand how, yes, they may have this, you said we signed a contract, versus like scientific evidence that we are going to globally reach catastrophic measures that we cannot return from. Like, this is like life or death. What better argument of like, no, we have to protect this land. We have to, you can't do it. Fuck your money. Fuck your investments. Fuck the law in this. Fuck the court. Fuck the law. Fuck, what did he say? Fuck the king. Like, fuck all of this. It does not matter. This is life or death. This is the future of your kids. I'm going to do everything I can in my power. I don't give a fuck if, I don't get reelected, because a lot of people are saying that the younger folks are going to be, he's making this decision that the younger folks are going to be really upset and he may not get those votes, but he's also going to gain the trust of the working class American who like often doesn't think about climate change. I don't think any of us do really, but they're really more concerned with the immediate expenses and the gas prices that they have. And so by drilling in America kind of lowers our dependency on other folks' oil, I suppose. So that's the call that he's making. But it just feels really gross. It feels really corrupt. I don't know exactly the women.
Pause. Can you refresh? Your browser is preventing your video from recording. Keep going when you get back. Monty, sorry.
I don't quite remember the woman that they named, but there was somebody that was actually on the Biden administration who like had tears in her eyes as they were signing the papers, saying like, well, sometimes we just like basically got to do what we got to do. So it feels evil. Like, I really don't think that there is anything that could be said to make this make sense, because all of his claims are about where he wants to be in 2030, or all these projections for America. We got to invest in cleaner,
That's where I was at. I was saying, I don't know if I agree that this means that we're beholden to this form of energy, because I did some quick math, because 60 million barrels didn't feel like that much to me, Sassy.
600 million.
Excuse me, 600 million didn't feel like that much to me. The U.S. consumes a little less than 20 million barrels a day. So with that quick math, I did 18 million barrels, even though it's a little more than that. 18 million barrels a day times 365 is still, it doesn't cover us for a year. So it doesn't mean that, what are you saying?
Yeah, I don't know if that makes, then they wouldn't, I don't know if your math is math, and that may sound right, but this is a 30-year project.
Yeah, it's a 30-year project that you're saying could produce 600 million barrels. So all I'm saying is it doesn't mean that we're going to be reliant on, we can't be reliant on, like 600 million barrels doesn't get us through a year. So all I'm saying is that it impacts the environment and the ecosystem just drilling for it. But what I'm saying is it doesn't mean that the U.S. is saying we're beholden to oil as the way in which we're going, as our main energy resource. That the barrels that they're going to get from this is doesn't even hold us over for a year.
Yeah, again, I would like to understand that more. I don't quite, that doesn't make any sense to me that they would do a 30-year.
Well, that's how long it's
the process of getting 30 years.
Well, the process of getting your oil, that's why oil is so precious. The process of mining oil and getting oil is a really long one. So like it's not this overnight thing where you're just pumping out all the, it takes forever. That's why it's so costly, and we go to war over it. So
Whatever.
I'm just saying that I'm not combating you and saying that this is not problematic. I'm saying that I'm still hopeful. I hope that even as we shift to cleaner energy, I'm just grateful that this isn't like billion. Because then, yes, I would say, oh shit, we're gonna be using these fucking oil for
But if the
years and
tipping
years
point
to
is
come.
like here, if the tipping point is already here, it doesn't matter. Like we're at the tipping point. We can't afford to add. We need to stop what we're doing.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying we're not going to be beholden to it for years and years. I'm just saying this doesn't mean that we're beholden to it for years and years and years. I'm not saying that it's not very detrimental to the climate. I'm just saying
like
that Joe Biden's not
America-
saying that oil is the future with this project at all. It doesn't
these
cover
type
us
of
for you.
investments and these decisions that they're making, it makes it feel like
He didn't make it. Trump did.
Again, the idea that him saying, "Oh, my back's against there's serious implications here that I don't think these imaginary ideas we have around legality and you're gonna sue me, like fuck all of that shit when it's burning. It doesn't matter. Fuck all of that shit when
What would you have him do then?
to not approve that. I think there was a possibility that he couldn't approve that. A lot of the environmental folks are saying he didn't have to approve that he could
and then
go
he
to
just
court
pays
for
them
it. He figures it out. He's supported by the people. Like it doesn't make sense. Like he's saying,
I think our anger is a little bit I get being disappointed in him and wanting for him to fight it. I do too. I'd rather him fight this in court. But I do want to just highlight he's not the person that signed this on the dotted line for this. And he's still cleaning up the mess.
The Biden
of others.
administration. I mean, he could sign
No,
on
I'm
the
talking
bill.
about Trump signed on the dotted line to do this. Trump rolled back all of those other provisions for climate.
I think the
protection.
centering and the dependency, and this isn't a new story about how the government, whether it's Democrat or whether it's Republican, I think there was some saying that at least 28 congressmen have stocks in like oil. Like whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat, people's investment in oil is real. It doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, we both have cars that function off of gas.
Exactly, but it's unsustainable, and like there has to be an abrupt change. There has to be. People are saying there has to be. We're not at a space. We didn't take care of it years ago when we could like wean ourselves off. We should have been weaned off, and now we're seeing the consequences of it. It's happening now.
I don't disagree, but I think it's really easy to be disappointed in the administration, and I think it's fair to be disappointed in them. But I also think we're
all
complicit.
Dependent on it.
Yeah, you and I have cars
frogs
again
in water, and until people.
So why do we? But we expect. I'm just like, well.
I shared why Biden did it. I'm not here just saying hang Biden. I'm just saying that there is an opportunity, and there was a platform on which he could really speak about and say, yeah, I had the opportunity to solve this, but I did sign this, but I didn't approve it because of this, that, and the third. I'd rather go to court for this. I need everybody's help to bring attention to this. He could have all the scientists there. There's he has the platform to bring awareness and to stand 10 toes down. Him, his administration, whatever. He chose not to do it. We're all in la la land about it. And again, the winter's coming. Whether we want to play these games of politics and he did it, I signed it. He can make these. He could have said he could have not approved this, and then he doesn't get reelected, and then the next person comes in and approves it. So it's not like it's all. I'm not just blaming it on him and being like, wow,
yeah,
you really
I don't want it to be specific to him. I think I think it's just so complicated and so fucking nuanced, all of this, because even the idea of I'm looking at how California is putting really great legislation in place to demand that all cars, hey, stop, blue, scratch. All cars be electric by a certain year, but they're also building infrastructure to support that. Like you and I have gas cars. So it's easy to say, I think it's easier for us to say, like, we have to do something now. We got to blow it up. We got to start. But like, you can't.
It's not gonna blow. We can't blow it up. It's going to blow up.
No. Let me finish. Like, we got to blow up how we're utilizing this energy source, right? That we can't use gas. We have to get cleaner. But we don't have any structures or systems in place. So while we do that, we have to continue. It's fucked up. Like, yes, winter is coming, but I also am like, if I'm looking for solutions, they're just so much more complicated than we just got to use another source. If I were to get an electric car, I would have nowhere to charge that shit as much as I would like to get one. So like, how do people just say, oh no, we're not going to, like, we do still need gas. Sadly, we have to wean ourselves off of it and put things in place in order to run this fucking country.
Sure,
It's
signing
so fucked
30 years. I think the last time we talked about this, Europe signed another long 30-year agreement to keep getting. It doesn't seem like this practice of weaning is put in place. And to your point, our putting our heads in the ground and also thinking that the government is going to be the only one responsible in making this happen is absurd as well, because they're not going to. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not in any way saying the fix is just to blow it up or just stop doing it. Maybe it would have to be. I don't fucking know. But to continue as if it's not a serious problem, if it's not something that we're talking about in politics, like, this is serious as fuck. It's not the main concern when we're talking about re-electing our officials. It feels crazy to me. That just feels crazy.
I don't think
me.
it's not being talked about. He just passed some
It's
of the
a
largest
major talking point. It should be a major issue that he should be responsible for saying, like, yo, I know I had said all this other stuff, but this is the reason why I made this decision. He should be held accountable to really make it make sense, because it does not make sense.
Okay. I feel you. I don't disagree. I do think that he did just pass a historic climate bill change. And again, I know that we're caught up on how long it's going to take to drill this oil, but this oil won't even last us a year. So it's not a huge amount of oil that's going to be utilized.
Yeah, I don't understand what your argument is then. I don't get what you're
I've said it. I don't know how to, like, what I'm saying. That doesn't mean that we're beholden. He's not drilling 1 trillion tons of oil. He's drilling, like, this drilling is going to supply less than a year's worth of oil. So it doesn't mean that he's saying the U.S. needs to be relying on oil for the next 25 years. If it takes
30 years to drill the oil.
I
don't understand it. I really don't understand. If you're saying it takes 30 years to drill the oil, right? To even get the crude oil out, it takes 30 years to even pull the shit out. What makes you think that that's not a pipeline and, like, oh yeah, in 30 years we're going to still need that shit if I'm going to invest in something that takes 30 years to even manifest?
I'm saying that 600 million barrels is not going to mean that after that 30 years, we're still using it for another 30 years. Hopefully by that time, it's going to be used much more sparsely, because according to this climate change bill that he has passed, there's a lot more incentives for folks to be less reliant on it by that time. So hopefully that oil is not something like, if again, I would be very nervous if in 30 years we're then going to have 600 trillion tons of oil, that means, oh, you plan on using oil for another 30 years after that in a very in a way that is like we're like heavily reliant on it. I am hopeful that in 30 years there's more green cars, there's different kind of energy sources where that can sit in a fucking reserve. We're still going to need oil in 30 years. It's just what it is. We don't have the infrastructure in place to get rid of all of this in 30 years. This country is huge. We just don't have it in place.
Child. The whole world is
We're only talking about the country now.
Yeah, the whole and a lot of developing countries are like, we want to make our money off this oil. What you talking about? Stop using it. Like,
I know it's daunting.
Just figuring out how to use it.
It's cyclical. So I'm still hopeful that by then there'll be more things in place. Is all I'm saying, so that we're not using that amount of oil for the 30 years after that. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but I don't know any other way to explain it. But it's fucked up. And I wouldn't want to be in his position to try to fix it at all.
No, I don't think one person can do that.
No, and unfortunately going fucking green is expensive. It's expensive. Getting an electric vehicle is much more expensive than the luxury Ultima that I have. It is. Getting that shit. My mom has wanted to put those panels on her roof for so long. They're so expensive to do.
Yeah, but in the long run, they save so much money.
But you have to have that upfront money. And not everybody has that capital. It's fucked up. And I think it's a good thing that he's giving people $7,000 back on their taxes. If they have an electric vehicle, that's great. That helps. But again, you got to be in a position to be able to afford that in the first place to get it. And then to fix an electric vehicle is so much more expensive than there has to be some give and take here. It's so much more nuanced and complicated than just go green. We got to stop eating meat.
I would love, child, talk about it. The capitalism as we know it would have to be completely upturned. If there are any environmentalists or folks that have some insight into the world's trajectory and different possibilities, please call us, and I would love to talk to you and get some insight into all of this shit, because it just feels like doomsday over here.
Yeah,
but maybe I'm tripping.
I don't think you are at all.
All right, Queen. What else we got?
All right, on to something lighter, hopefully.
More?
Pop culture.
There's more?
You thought that we were done?
I feel like that was a long episode so far.
It is a long episode, but where we at? We got to talk about the Oscars. We can run through it quickly. The Oscars happened. That was exciting. I just want to say the first thing I have on here is Thames. Her dress, I loved it. I was like, oh my God, she won the night for me.
Music artists go to the Oscars.
She wrote a song that was nominated for best.
She wrote the Rihanna song, right?
Yeah.
Oh, see.
Of course she was going to be there.
Now.
I know that she got a lot of flack. Well, she got interesting feedback. She got a lot of flack for the dress because I thought she was going to change or put that in a. I thought that there was going to be a shift in how
become a hoodie or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand that, oh my God, people are at the Oscars, they can't even see, and these people they were doing everything they could to get around that dress, and baby, she was sitting there unbothered. I said, Thames,
the pictures of people peeking over it.
I know she might have turned around and apologized to them. I don't know, but I thought it was really beautiful that she wore a Ukrainian designer. I feel like that was purposeful. I get it. And there's some people who are like, Black women taking up space. And I'm of the...
That's disrespectful. Proper etiquette.
I don't think it's disrespectful, but I'm like, all right, we can take up space and still be thoughtful.
Let me tell you something. I can't stand to go to a show and some tall person stands in front of me.
Hate it.
Can't stand it. But shout out, she looked great. And sorry to those people.
Hey, I don't have any beef with her. I thought Ashley Graham I'm only going over how people look, and then we'll get into the awards. I thought she looked great. I was like, wow, Mama 3, she ate that shit up. Shout out to the big thick girls. She did her thing. She's redeemed herself from the Jason Momoa incident. We've all forgiven her. She asked him to do his what is that? Is he Samoan?
Mm-hmm.
His like
Sacred
I don't
drum?
know what to call it. His like sacred ritual dance.
Mm-hmm.
To like do that on the carpet, and Lisa Bonet looked at her and was like, "Is he a fucking monkey in the zoo? Like that's not for play. Like that's not for your amusement."
That's right,
and he
Lisa.
brushed it off, and people were like, "Oh, she's so distasteful."
Wait, this was recorded live? Someone caught it in like in real time?
no,
or?
she does interviews on the red carpet. She's like,
Okay.
yeah.
It's all coming
So, and people have feedback on her. She's a white woman married to a black man. That is, that people always going to have something tricky to say about that. But she missteps sometimes culturally, but I don't think she has any ill intention. Sweet lady. Excuse me, I have a grape in my mouth. Rihanna looked. Wow. I said, wow, Rihanna. That's a beautiful woman. And she sounds so good now. Her voice has gotten so much stronger. Am I the only one hearing this? Did you hear her?
I didn't watch her performance. No, I saw a clip of it.
Her vocals are strong. I said that during the Super Bowl performance. I said, these babies doing something to them, that abdominal work now. It's a workout. And I said, Rihanna, that diaphragm has been working.
She looks so beautiful. I love to see the pictures of her and ASAP.
My goodness. And ASAP just standing there cheering with his little champagne. So proud of her. Fuck all them haters talking they shit about that damn Vogue cover.
Oh, God.
It's just stupid.
Grow up.
Lady Gaga.
Oh, I think this is is this one of the first time we've ever mentioned Lady?
I don't know. No, because I feel like I loved A Star Is Born. I had to have spoken about that on here. Lady Gaga, there's something special about that lady. She's tricky, but in a like, I love her kind of way. She was on the red carpet. She had so much fucking makeup on. It was like, sis, get some of that off your face. Google her on the red carpet. It was like, girl, that's enough.
She
now.
said, I'm a star.
It looked like she was playing in her mom's makeup. But a photographer fell on the red carpet. She hurried up and ran over to help them up. And then she performed looking like herself. She took all that shit off. I said, if I was the makeup artist.
I love that she did that.
She took all of her
See,
makeup
she's making
off.
a statement. She said, Beyonce, she was still
She
looking
sat
amazing,
on
though.
a stool in a t-shirt and like some jeans and had a super stripped down emotional performance for her song. She wrote Hold My Hand for Top Gun Maverick. And she said that the song is about needing a hero and sometimes needing to be your own hero. And vocally, there's something about her that I like. She's one of these singers that I never know, even in A Star Is Born, I never know if she's going to hit the note. And she gets up there, but it's like with this, it's labored in a way where it makes you feel the song that much more.
I love that for her. I'm seeing the pictures of her performance. That's dope.
It was
That's
dope.
pretty dope.
People
love that.
gave her shit, and it's not her fault. The cameraman was in her grill in very strange angles of that performance, and we were like, "Why is this the view that they're giving us?" Back up. They were so close, but I thought it was very intentional, and I truly appreciated her. Bravo to Lady Gaga. Now let's get into the winners. We said it here. You saw the movie first. You told me to go see it. I went to go see it. I was obsessed with it. Saw it twice. 7 awards. They won in every category they were nominated in, I believe. Everything, everywhere, all at once. First up, let's just get it out the way. Jamie Lee Curtis beats Angela Bassett for Best Supporting Actress. Do you have a thought? Because you've been nervous about this. So I'm going to keep going now.
Angela was wonderful. They were both very wonderful in their performances. I completely understand Angela's disappointment.
Yes.
I don't want to take away from Jamie. It's not a. I guess it doesn't matter who did it the best with the award, isn't it?
It's so annoying because it's fucking subjective.
But
it's art.
It felt. I wasn't mad that Jamie Lee got the award, but I'm very sad that Angela Bassett doesn't get the recognition that I think she deserves, and she probably should have gotten a long time ago. Maybe not. That was a great performance, but what's love got to do with it, baby?
Child.
That made an imprint on my adolescent soul.
She was up against some heavy. It's crazy because it always depends on who you're up against. She was up against some heavy hitters that year. I'm gonna say this.
Who was? Oh, if it's Meryl Streep now,
it wasn't Meryl Streep.
Oh.
It wasn't Meryl Streep. But I'm gonna say this.
Just bow out.
Angela Bassett. I watched Black Panther last night, and I said, "Oh, that's the scene that they said she deserves the award." Heard you. Here's the thing. I'm more mad at the lack of material, the lack of quality material that Angela Bassett has had an opportunity to play with and to showcase her skills. That's really what I'm mad about, because I feel like these roles come along and Angela Bassett has been fortunate enough, and but like we've been caught up in Tyler Perry land for years. And sometimes I find that the roles that Black actors have access to are not the ones that showcase their talents, that give them the ability to really stretch. And I think part of that is that they're not colorblind casted. They're not looked at as human. And so they get boxed into these roles that are quote unquote Black. Or they have to do like a biopic. And it's like, okay, I get it. But like, we need to write better roles. We need to give access to better roles to Black actors so that they have, and just actors, brown and Black actors, because this shit is annoying to me. I think I didn't even realize that was Jamie Lee Curtis in the damn movie. I thought she was incredible, Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't want to take anything away from her. She's also getting older. She's Hollywood royalty. She has not done enough shit where she was ever going to win an Oscar. They going to give her an Oscar for Halloween H2O? No. This was her chance to get her Oscar. They fucking gave it to her. Fine, whatever. I felt terrible for Angela. Her face, I was so happy that she didn't smile. I don't care about white gays. She don't owe us a smile. She don't owe us a clap. Samuel L. Jackson didn't clap when he lost his Oscar. He said, shit. That's what he did. And it's Samuel L. Jackson, so you just fucking laugh. But she got beat up by the press for not clapping. Was it the press
or just white people on Twitter?
No, it was the press. E.T. and all these different news outlets reported on that, and I didn't like it. She didn't need to clap. She was gracious. And people are like, well, if Jamie Lee Curtis didn't clap and Angela won, it would have been a problem. Heard you, it probably would have. But guess what? Dynamics are different. Shut the fuck up.
Jamie Lee better know better than that.
She better have gotten up and
give an ovation, goddamn
right,
it,
and put up the Wakanda Forever signal. Jamie
know better than that. Nah,
I just want to see Angela win. I think
she is winning. I think the fact that the idea that she isn't winning because she didn't get it from the Oscars. I know it's a salty piece, but she's
no. I just want to see her win the award, not win in life. She is winning in life. There's no way. There's no doubt about that. It also makes you think, like, why are we giving this award show so much of our value? But listen, at the end of the day, it's the top award for an actor, period. It just is what it is. She's royalty. I pray she gets another role where she can showcase her shit. I didn't think that was her strongest performance ever. I would have been like, what? She got her Oscar for that? Okay. It's like Denzel in Training Day. Like, he was great, but like, okay, you owed him one. Like, it just felt like,
well, maybe she still got one coming. God, inshallah.
I hope she has many more coming.
Inshallah.
And I hope that they're roles that, I feel like Viola kind of got in there And now they giving love to Viola. They let Viola kind of do her thing a little bit, even though she's fucking up against it. God, is she up against it? She's up against it in Hollywood. She has a very hard time getting people. She talks about it, getting these fucking producers and casting directors and studios to see her. But it's just Angela Bassett can do some of the roles that maybe Meryl Streep has done if you don't look at her as only a black, strong woman. Let her stretch. Let her show off what she could do.
Now, a controversial opinion. Even Viola ain't up with Meryl Streep's.
I didn't say that. No, Meryl Streep, I think, for me, is the GOAT. I think she's just another level. Her, and in my opinion, what is his name? He's in Marvel too. He was Iron Man's sidekick. What's his real name? The Black Bull. I love
Don
him.
Cheadle.
Her and Don Cheadle, the way they disappear into roles, you can't teach that. You forget that it's them on stage. They are just, to me, the creme de la creme. But like, I just want to see Angela stretch. Give her some good material, y'all. That's it. She deserves more than what she's been given. But in other news, Ruthie Carter won Best Costume Design for Wakanda Forever. I was going to be mad if she didn't, because what the fuck? And then it was the night of the Asians. And I was very happy for them, baby. I was loving it. And I just love to see these people who there was a lot of new nominees. I just, Ki, how you say his name? Ki Hu Kwan? That's the dad from Everything Everywhere All
I
at
didn't know
Once.
he was the sidekick in he was the Asian.
He was the baby
in
Indiana Jones.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God, it was lovely because seeing him win. Steven Spielberg was there just cheering for him, so happy because that's who directed Indiana Jones. So he's like this little boy who no one knew. I just plucked him out, and now he's up here, and he was gonna quit. Like, if that's not a story, he spent time in a refugee camp here. Like, his mother wanted to act, he said, and she didn't have the opportunity. Like that shit like that is just like so heartwarming. I do want to also Michelle Yeoh. If she wasn't gonna win, they did say that she didn't have any martial art experience before. She didn't. They announced that she didn't have any formal martial art training before she started acting. She was a ballerina.
Before she started acting, I thought you were talking about before this movie. I was about to say, what, child?
That's what
they said. Grew up on Michelle now.
She went up. She accepted her award and made sure to remind us not to let anyone tell us that we're out of our prime, which I really loved. But I wanted to play the acceptance speech of the Daniels, the two gentlemen that wrote the movie. And I know this movie is not everybody's steez. I get it. But I loved the humanity displayed in this acceptance speech. It was really beautiful. I sent it to you. Did you watch it?
No, I waited for it.
You don't be watching nothing. I'll send you.
Unless it's a meme, child. I'm like,
I know. You don't watch nothing. Why won't it open, guys? It's going to be an ad.
The Oscar goes to Everything Everywhere. Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Known collectively as the Daniels, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert met while studying at an Emerson College in Boston. They began their career as music video directors.
Thank you, sir. Our fellow nominees, you guys are our heroes. This is weird. We want to dedicate this to the mommies, all the mommies in the world, to our moms. specifically my mom and dad, Ken and Becky, thank you for not squashing my creativity when I was making really disturbing horror films or really perverted comedy films or dressing in drag as a kid, which is a threat to nobody. Yeah, thank you to everybody who worked on our movie.
I know every director agrees with me when I say a director is nothing without their incredible cast and crew. This is my family, my friends. If our movie has greatness and genius, it is only because they have greatness and genius flowing through their hearts and souls and minds, and they gave that to us, they gave that precious gift to our film. The world is opening up to the fact that genius does not stem from individuals like us on stage, but rather genius emerges from the collective. We are all products of our context. We are all descendants of something and someone, and I want to acknowledge my context, my immigrant parents, my father who fell in love with movies because he needed to escape the world and thus passed that love of movies on to me, my mother who is a creative soul who wanted to be a dancer, an actor, and singer, but could not afford the luxury of that life path and then gave it to me, my incredible brothers and sisters who helped me survive the chaos of childhood, my friends from high school who taught me sorry, I'm just going to keep going. The RCCC, you taught me the liberating freedom of creativity and joy, and your DNA is in this film as well. My incredible son, Gio, you rearrange my DNA every day, and it's awful and beautiful every single time. If you ever watch this, I hope you know that you should never have to live up to this standard. This is not normal. This is kind of crazy. I will love you no matter what.
You said that to his son. I just love it.
No.
And lastly, I just want to go back to my original point. There is greatness in every single person. It doesn't matter who they are. You have a genius that is waiting to erupt. You just need to find the right people to unlock that. Thank you so much to everyone who has unlocked my genius. This means so much to us. Thank you to the Academy.
Yay!
Like, what's better than that? Really? I don't know. Shout out to being connected to your humanity. I'm so happy that they won. Other touching moments is that RR won for best song. That's your people. The Indians. They was in there killing it. Okay. And they had a really great acceptance speech as well. They was singing their little asses off. And then sadly, John Travolta, presented, and I looked at him and was like, is he okay? Because he looked so different, but I realized he was struggling because he presented the memorandum and got so choked up. I forgot that Olivia Newton-John passed, and also Kirstie Alley, who he had deep ties and connection to. And again, it was another moment where you felt the humanity. Like, he struggled getting through bringing that up. And then Lenny Kravitz did a really beautiful song while they showed all of the folks that had passed. This Oscars was very enjoyable. And then last but not least, I still need to see this movie, but Brendan Fraser won for The Whale. And that really touched me because this industry this industry specifically chewed him up and spit him out. And he went from being like this heartthrob to this kind of castaway. And I shied away from watching The Whale because I heard it's really hard to watch. And it's all about, this morbidly obese man trying to reconnect with his daughter. And Brendan Fraser just talked about how connected he was to that and to dealing with obesity and grappling with depression. And so I'm going to watch it soon. But I was just so happy
He was also
to see him.
This is the comeback as well from revealing that he was sexually assaulted by somebody high in Hollywood. And that's such a risky thing. So much as, again, you're risking being shunned, you're being blacklisted. So for him to get this, to still have his livelihood and to win is like, shout out to Brendan. Who knew?
Yeah. It was really beautiful. Lots of firsts for the night, but I enjoyed it. It would have been perfect if Auntie Angela won. And shout out to Michael B. Jordan trying to make me like him. He came out as soon him and Jonathan were the first people on stage after Angela lost. And he was like, "Hey, Auntie." And then Jonathan Majors was like, "We love you," from the stage, and made sure to acknowledge her, which I thought
It was beautiful.
was poignant
That was great.
and beautiful.
Very important.
Very important moment there. But shout out to folks following their dreams, seeing their genius, creating the lives that they want for themselves, having their confidence, feeling God around them and within them,
Amen.
and doing the damn thing, right?
Shame.
Ashe. Y'all, Shanti ready to get off this fucking podcast, and I'm gonna let her, because she's had it up to here.
About 3.5, 4 hours. So
It was
we're
not,
doing it. Support. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you.
These are long episodes this week.
See you
We're
next
done.
week.
Blessings. Goodbye.
Oh,
Did you see The Whale? I'm so scared to watch it. Everybody was like, "Yeesh, that's hard."
who saw it? I don't know anybody that saw it. Only thing I
Oh, my
watched
mom
on
saw
Netflix.
it. Oh, did you ask? Oh, my mom saw it. Artsy fartsy people. My mom saw it. Van Lathan actually said he saw it. He was like, "That shit was hard." His co-host said she had to turn it off. She couldn't deal with it.
For real?
Yeah, that is. My mom said it was really hard. She was like,
It's hard about.
didn't like
I
it."
mean, it's
It's
just
super
showing
emo. He's trying to rekindle from my understanding, he's trying to rekindle a relationship with his daughter. I think the little girl from Stranger Things is in it. That's his daughter, a little redhead girl. But he's like just morbidly obese, depressed. It's just a downer. It's just a fucking downer, they said. And if you struggle with weight or your perception of your weight, it's hard because I don't know. It just is. You see some of yourself in him. But
No, I gotta see. I don't even know all the things that were nominated. To be completely honest.
I really want to see women talking as well. Everybody's talking about that. Have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
They said women talking is amazing. And then another one, I forget. The rehearsal.
I saw the one about the orchestra.
Oh, the orchestra. What one was that? With
It's
old
like
girl
tar
in it?
or darts. It's just
Tar.
one word.
Not the orchestra. The orchestra's a show. Tar. That's the one.
That was.
That's with Kate Blanchett.
I didn't like that one so much.
Oh, you didn't like? Did you like her performance? Everybody's saying she might have.
She was acting her ass off, but I was also like, all right, what the fuck? The fuck? It's over my head. It's just over my head.
I gotta watch The Whale. Ugh. I don't want to watch The Whale. Black Panther.
You didn't like it? I thought it was great. I liked it more than the first one, but I enjoyed it.
I don't know how you could like, because you don't be watching Marvel like that. I don't know how. I mean, unpopular opinion. I didn't love Black Panther 1 that much. I love aspects of it, but Michael B. Jordan's acting bothered me so much. But I did miss Chadwick. I did. I wasn't ready for an old girl to die now. I said, what the fuck? But I just felt like there was character development that I get. Old girl I think she's Lionheart. What's her name? She's like Tony Stark's protege, but like she just came out of nowhere. And then I don't know if I like her personality just yet. I was like, she getting on my nerves. She another one. Wasn't serious enough for me. I'm like, why are you playing? I got an issue with people playing all the time. But she was fine. I wasn't obsessed. I thought Shuri was really good. I thought
Good. She was cute. That's all I got to say. Oh, she's fine. That's
she
okay.
reminded me of somebody.
Ooh,
I said, "Is that
for real?
her way?" Yeah, I was like, "What the? It's giving me the energy." I don't know. It was fine. The character development, they just came out of nowhere. I get it. I respect it though, because can't imagine having to do a whole rewrite and making all that make sense. The end, when she came out with that little boy, I said, "Oh my!" I cried. I said, "Oh,
God, that's all I remember. You was talking the whole time. I was like, I don't know who she talking about.
You so annoying. You're
But the
so
end, boy,
annoying."
I said, "Oh my God!" Joe cried. You know, Joe
When
don't
she
cry
came
for
out and
nobody.
said that, and that little boy said that, I said, "Oh, see, y'all doing too much now." Also, not the Black Panther, the king being out here. Did he marry her? Did he make her an honest woman? Where is her inheritance?
She had to hide it.
She
You know, they was
playing
knocking boots, rocking body,
They was-
knocking the boots.
fucking.
They was making love, okay? Making sweet love.
And if you see when Angela goes to find her in Haiti, she nods to that little boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy.
And that's what she was trying to tell Shuri until the waterman came up. I was like, I don't know how they gonna beat them. They finna die.
Oh man, I fucked with them.
I said,
like,
you
ooh.
can't beat them. They needed to snatch their little water thing off their faces. I didn't
I
understand why they
forgot
weren't
about
doing
the whole
that.
premise of it.
I
I'm
said,
excited
snatch the
for it.
water off their face.
Did you see Dr. Umar's review of it?
No, but
Kept
I
calling them
absolutely-
water Mexicans.
Don't
Shit.
play with me.
I'm telling you.
Send it to me right now.
Call them
That's
a
what I need to
water
watch before bed.
Mexican.
Why would he say that?
Dead ass serious, not even trying to be like
He wasn't trying to be
funny. He was really serious. The water Mexican.
Fucking Dr. Umar. What's wrong with him, yo? He can't be helped.
He has to be protected though.
Water Mexicans. That's not funny. That's the type of shit. If we were a more problematic podcast, we could say shit like that. And just do reviews like that. Like, yeah. I was like, what in the Avatar? I was like, I don't know. James
They were
Cameron is
beautiful.
somewhere pissed. You know, James Cameron didn't go to the Oscars.
Why?
You
Because he got
trashed
snubbed.
this? Why did you trash this?
Because he got snubbed. Trashed what?
245 and 246 outline. I still need to know where the
You need those?
yeah, I need to know where the break is to set this up for tonight, Sheila.
No apologies.
No, that's good that we're trashing stuff. We got way too much shit to drive. Yeah, he didn't show up, but they were given Avatar. I said now they could have been green
Why
or
didn't
something
he
for
show up
Algae
though?
because he felt the Avatar should
Deserve.
have been nominated for either Best Picture or he felt like it should have been nominated for Best. I think it was nominated for Best Visual Effects.
I
which,
think
of
he's
course, it should
crazy.
be.
I think he's off his rocker now. I think he's like probably like a. Because nigga, what? First of all, nobody asked for a second one. Was it? Maybe they did. I'm delusional. It was
Yes, we
high
did.
grossing,
We
wasn't
loved
it? They loved
Avatar.
it.
Not they, me included. Me and my mom went to see Avatar 3 times with the 3D glasses. Pay extra for the bitches. It was in there like, wow, so good. It was like a Jumanji, not Jumanji. What was that? Fern Gully on steroids. You know Fern Gully?
Mm-hmm. I love Fern Gully.
Oh my God, Fern Gully was my jam. I secretly want to see the second one, but I know all the blacks are saying that that's not right. But
This is the blacks or the indigenous native people of the Americas
and the
in
blacks.
which they. Oh wow!
Can I watch it and know like ain't no white people do
Just
this?
don't tell nobody, girl.
No, I'm gonna come over here like yo. I saw Avatar. That shit was amazing. Black Panther 2 mid.
Oh,
They're gonna be like, go to get off. No, Black Panther 2 was fine. It's not the best Marvel movie, but those action
And-
scenes had
no.
me stressed.
You know what the
There-
best Marvel movie was? Into the
Wait, let me-
Spider-Verse.
What? Oh, I still never saw that, the comic. I need to see that too. I need to see it.
What?
That's not a Marvel. I don't think that's Marvel.
Why isn't it?
It's not like that. Spider-Man was owned by, I forget who. Somebody else. That's why we didn't know if we were getting more Spider-Man. It was tricky for a while. Listen, the issue that I have with Black Panther.
Are we still talking about it?
No, seriously, I'm annoyed that they always have to introduce, or not always. Did they do that in the first film? No. Like, just give us some Black Panther on its own before you introducing all these other characters. I feel like it's the seventh season of Game of Thrones, and it's so plot driven. It's like, can we just still be in this world and let them have their own thing before you're introducing the other characters, because we have this new iteration of Marvel? Like, I just want to get to know them still. Please. Like, these water people could have waited. You know? I don't know. I'm thinking
who's
back
gonna
on,
be
like,
the client? You
Iron
want them
Man, the iterations of Iron Man. Like, they weren't really, I don't think they were bringing in all of these new characters.
Is
But
that a
also-
new character that's not in they're made up?
It's new characters. No, they're in the Marvel universe, in the comics, but it's new characters to the movies. Like, these people haven't been in the movies yet, so they're introducing. Basically, they got rid of Iron Man, they got rid of Captain America. Like, they're old. They're putting this new generation of the Avengers together, and so they're just throwing them in these movies where they're introduced. Like, even the way Black Panther was introduced, he wasn't introduced in Black Panther's movie. He was introduced in Civil War, which was technically Iron Man's movie. So, like, but we had like a little bit of time to marinate. I don't know. I just feel like Black Panther deserved its own 2. Wakanda, just give us 2. But I guess they needed to do some new shit. It was a lot of new characters, though. It was like, you got this random black scientist girl who's got all these magical powers in a
They
fucking
had
iron
to.
suit. Like, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
they
Like, I
had
wish they
to.
would have introduced her and she didn't have all of those abilities just yet. Like, just introduce her so we know who she is. And then in 3, we see, oh, she's developed these suits. Like, oh, she's turning into this new, like, it just, there was no development.
Yeah.
She was just thrown in. It was
It's
like, who the fuck is
racism.
this?
The root of it is racism for Wakanda and the way they treat the black characters in the Marvels.
Well, Ryan Coogler wrote it, so I don't know if
Well,
Chauncey, you all right over there?
I'm just trying to keep up with you about this Marvel stuff because I don't know nothing about what you're
I
talking
want
about.
you to be in the Marvel.
It doesn't give me joy. It's not enough human existential angst, I'm just like,
There's
I can't
so
relate
much
to these
human
niggas.
existential angst
They
in
flying
Marvel.
around like, what the fuck is going on? It's not giving me The Last of Us. It's just too crazy for me. It's too out there. It's
People
too
are comparing The
superhero-y.
Last of Us to Game of Thrones, and I'm not having it. It's good. It's not that good. Game of Thrones is a
doesn't
10.
have-
The Last of Us is like a 8.
The
It's
Game
good
of
enough.
Thrones had the sex and the provocation.
It was
It
not
had the
about
decadence.
sex.
It did. No, it
was
was
a
hitting all
world.
of these notes though that the Last of Us just can't even. But I don't know how much. Nah, nobody can do what the Game of Thrones did in terms of like fantasy.
The Wire was a world. You knew who everybody was. Like, The Last of Us is
I
good.
think it's too early for you to say that. I also think you should got a puppy break.
Game of
Last
Thrones
of Us.
season 1, you were all in.
I'm all into this. I ain't crying at Game of Thrones now.
You didn't cry at Game of Thrones?
No, when the little boy went down the thing, I said, but I didn't feel like, wow.
Was there a moment where I cried at Game of Thrones? No. You're right.
You didn't cry when what's her name got killed?
Who?
The redhead? You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Oh, when he had to. Yeah. I think I might.
I cried at the Red Wedding.
I didn't cry at the Red Wedding. I was like,
Oh, I was.
I did not cry.
Maybe I
was
didn't
like,
either.
you know when I cried?
Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm lying.
I got problems. I cried when Shay was on trial saying that shit, breaking Tyrion's heart. I was
I
like,
cried. Yes. The way they treat Tyrion.
I said, Shay, why, Shay?
I have an echo that may be coming up. That's not good.
Don't upset me. The Last of Us. I'm not like, whoa. I think they stuck the landing. I say that they gave us a good ending. When he when he said that, I said, whoa.
And she knew. No, I think it's about to get crazy. I think it's about to get crazy. Well, listen. I have my bank teller. I have two men bank tellers, and I go in and we shoot the shit and we talk. And so he played The Last of Us game. He just recently finished Game of Thrones. So we were talking about The Wire. I'm telling him to start Succession, which is a masterpiece. I watched Succession the second time, and oh my god, it's so much better than the first time. But anyway, he was like, "You don't even know what's about to happen." Like
in the game, I heard that the game is like, this is where, but apparently this is where like the game people divide. No, I'm not telling you what happens. I have no idea what happens. I refuse to read anything about it because I don't want it to be spoiled. But what they're saying is this is where the people who played the game, they're so divided. They're just
some people think that what he did was right. Some people think that what he did was wrong.
But they said no, not just that, but like people either love it or they just hate where it's going.
Oh,
But that not everybody is like with the shits. I don't know.
and it's supposed to be the second season is supposed to be more than just one. It's supposed to be like multiple. I don't know. It's supposed to be like two seasons in one or something.
You know we're not getting that shit until 2025.
Well, Succession's coming back March 26th.
I know. I can't wait. That, but also like I'm waiting for Succession. I gotta be honest. I'm waiting for Stranger Things. I want to know how they're ending this.
I forgot all about them.
You can't forget about Stranger Things. I think they're shooting it now. It's gonna be a while. Millie Bobby Brown finna be 26 years old by the time they done this damn show. God. Succession, that I could care less about House of the Dragon, but I'm gonna watch it.
I'm infuriated by having to watch that.
It
better
have
get
to watch
good.
it. You can't not watch it. Right? It's like every fucking Sunday I gotta log on and see what the fuck happened. And hope it gets better. That's the thing. I'm watching it with the hope that it gets better. It gives me the dopamine rush that Game of Thrones once did. I'm at the point now where I've watched Game of Thrones so many times, it plays in the background like The Office. There's no excitement anymore. And I'm like, oh my God, all my dopamine has dried up from this.
Wow, you've reached a tolerance.
I've reached a tolerance where
Now
I'm
you're
not
trying to get high off the lesser quality drug.
And I'm like, and I haven't yet gone back to House of the Dragon.
My theory is because I don't like the Targaryens. I don't like them. Of all the houses,
Wait, I just looked up and saw it.
of all of the people that they could focus on, I'm so not interested.
They have
in
to
them.
focus on the Targaryens because they're like the first house. They have to talk about how these like that's where it all started. There was
Well, you
like,
know they're going to do a meta. It's going to be like a metaverse for them too.
oh yeah, I think that moving forward, HBO is always going to have some sort of subsidiary Game of Thrones.
This is one hair that's coming in strong.
I had two right here today that I plugged. Wait, all right, look at my Invisalign where it's going to be. See this tooth? You see it?
Not with your head like that.
Oh. This one's coming forward, mad forward. And this one, he had it in.
Yeah.
So if I don't do the bottle, they can fix this, but then it might turn my teeth like that way because they're pressing. It's a mess. I'm so mad. I said 8 months for this? I could tie some dental floss in a particular way.
But it's going to be in a whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm. So you gonna see me, and I'm gonna have to take that stuff out when I eat. Can you please not do that?
Why is it doing that?
Do you have it open in multiple things?
No, they wouldn't let me do it. You know they don't play that.
We don't have a description. What was the last week on? Oh, Wonder. Let's write the description together. This week, one time I just want to say, you know what? Fran and them's is like, Fran says this, Dustin says this, Asante says this. That's it. We be like, this week we are dealing with existential. It's just like, and don't nobody even read it.
I know. So just say
This week
talked about
we
wonder.
are talking about wonder
And I wonder.
as a wonder. Should I just write that?
What'd you say?
This week we are talking about wonder. That's all I got.
That's
Oh,
it.
God.
Join us.
No.
I think
After,
people not gonna listen.
I don't think they read it. We need to ask. What did you say? What was your update? I gotta pee. Yo, we have to talk about TGIF. I keep skipping that. Next week we gotta have like.
TGIF.
Don't look up all them shows either. It's got to be authentic.
All right, so I'm gonna start reaching out to some people. I'm gonna list
For
some
what?
people to add extra content. Just a half an hour, meet them, have a little interview thing, talk things.
What, to drive people to Patreon?
No, to add extra content.
Why are we adding extra content to Patreon? Is it to give them more incentive to join?
To join, yeah, and to give the people that
Oh, so
pay.
we are trying to drive
worthwhile.
people to Patreon. Yeah, that's all I'm asking.
Exclusive.
All right, great. Shanti is literally fighting sadness. This week, Shanti is literally. Oh,
When
you
am
want
I
to talk about
not?
this
I
weekend?
can't wait for the descriptions that are. We are so excited and enlivened by our existence that we are no longer in our bodies and has elevated to spirit one.
Yo, can I tell you, I took a half of an edible yesterday, didn't elevate at all. I said, dopamine. Nothing happened. And then I had to I took another quarter. I haven't taken an edible. I say it like it's trank. I haven't eaten an edible in like a month. And I was shocked. I said, did they go to stale?
Did they go with stale? Did they go with stale?
That's not what I'm.
It's possible because that shit should have had you rock if you didn't.
Right? I have. I was like, answer that. But maybe it did because I took it late and then I went to sleep and probably it hit somewhere in like 1:30 in the morning. I was like,
my dream.
Because I woke up at like 8 o'clock. I had hit snooze so many times in that alarm and I still was like, man, fuck this alarm, and rolled back over. I was exhausted. So maybe it did.
I think I would be a more attractive woman if I was wore a bar.
I don't know if that's racist or not.
I did.
You look like an Egyptian.
Get it right, child. You know when I took my shahada. Back in the day, they was like, wow, you got good hair.
Let me say something. That looks perfect for you. This is Maron's dream.
Right. Look, Christianity. Don't say that man's name.
It is pretty. Didn't you tell me JoJo wanted to wear that? She liked it. She liked it aesthetically, and you were like, Joe, You can't. She was like,
Could you
"Oh,
imagine the insanity if I just wore it for like not for
Please do
religious
it.
respect? I did it just because I wanted to. My mom, because she has
I've seen your mom do it.
because she has a weak jawline. She's like, I gotta hide my jowls.
I've seen her do it. That white woman. I'm like, heard you.
This was a very long evening of recording.
Are you regretting it?
Looking at the time.
I'm sorry.
Looking at the time, I regret it too long. Because it takes me about a good half an hour to 45 minutes to calm down after recording.
Let me ask you a question though. Have you uploaded your audio yet? You're doing that right now.
I did it already.
Huh?
I did it.
Wow. After this, I still have to record the stupid clip that I played. I be regretting playing clips. Like, why do that?
You should just reference it. Quote, unquote. Thank you to...
No, we gotta put them in there. It helps, apparently. According to Mandy, it helps with the episodes, and she listens. She be like, "No, it's so good. I love hearing that. It needs more production." I'm like, shut up.
You got all your outfits ready?
I was about to ask you that. You got yours ready? Shanti, you've known about this date for quite
Mandy
some time.
didn't tell me that I have to dress in the 2000s.
Oh, you're talking about that? Or are you talking about this weekend?
Oh, this weekend I told you, but I'm still. You could have
You don't
bought
have
more
anything
dresses.
new to add to that?
I have the stuff that I was going to bring that we didn't take pictures in that I'm still going to bring. And we can take pictures in them. But I ain't buying more. I don't have like 6 more outfits. I guess.
Okay. No, you do have to do 2000.
She ain't tell me that though.
Shanti, I know that she's announced that it's 2000s theme.
I didn't see that.
She's telling other people to come
She's telling other people to come.
dressed in that. Talking like my mom.
We should do it. Get ready.
Oh, my mom told me that you text her. That was nice. She responded.
Thank you.
That's all she said was thank you.
Thank you. I can't remember. Something. Thank you, Sean.
What's that?
It's something I have lying around.
I don't
Arabian
look.
Princess.
I don't look good in eyeshadow.
Me either.
It's not my. I think you look very pretty in eyeshadow. Especially that looks pretty. Especially like champagne-y eyeshadow that Marita puts on you. So pretty.
Listen, I'm an Arabian goddess right now.
Do you want to play dress up?
Yeah, put your makeup on. So I decided to go with this line. And what are you thinking? Should I do this? Or
What's that?
that would be scary.
I hate those combinations. I think a nice
It's like a nude, like which
nude
look you
or
would do?
pink,
Got
like
it.
very light, not a very heavy pink.
I decided to go with the purple.
That's a lot.
I don't
Keep
have
going.
anything for the 2000s. I'm sorry.
Just wear a bunch of denim. We talked about it. Just come out like that.
This is what I was doing in 2000.
In
I was
Philly?
embracing my.
They'd be like, inshallah. Did I ever tell you that my sister, what did he say? They were like, assalamu alaikum. She was like, kalaikum salam. And I said, bitch. And we was in like the, where were we? We were
They
just
say
in like,
assalamu alaikum to her.
they were just Muslim greeting us. We were in like a corner store in Philly. She was like, kalaikum kalam or some shit. I said,
Shame.
what? They looked at her like, They turned to the black Hebrew Israelites real quick, like, this bitch.
It's a indoctrinated woman doesn't know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has come down to our community to enlighten us and take us out of devilish ways. My day tomorrow's ruined.
What is your day tomorrow? I gotta reach out to Cole Arthur Riley. I want her on so badly, but we gotta have our shit together. She's smart. We can't be like, because what you had said.
She loves God, so she'll forgive us and help us to.
She does love God. All right, well, I can't hear you because you're so
I'm excited
far
for
away.
Amanda.
Me too. I can't wait to see her. So y'all are coming up? Y'all driving up? What y'all doing?
Yeah.
Who's driving?
I'm going to share the responsibility.
So y'all not staying?
No.
I think that's okay. I'm fine with it, actually.
No,
I actually like to come home and cry in peace. Thank you. Don't like doing when other people are here. We gotta buy that candle.
What is it? Leave myself right now.
I like it. I actually like this look. I think that you should. That's how they be.
They be bad as hell. Their makeup be fucking flawless.
I was about to say, but the thing about it is, their makeup is perfect. I'm like, what? The artistry?
Eyebrow game? Why would I buy this? What made me go to Sephora and be like, yup, this is it?
What is that?
I don't know.
Read it.
Liquid eyeshadow.
Oh, that might be pretty on you, actually. No. Let me see. Come closer. Put it on. That might be really pretty on you. Yeah, you tripping. That's pretty. I thought that was lipstick. I was like, that's not your nude. No. I feel like I did this before where I just started. Remember what I was like?
All right, girl. So you back at work, huh? Full swing.
Get out my face. Uh-oh. Boo's food is coming out. Round the clock feedings.
I can't believe that happened in my house. And she maybe it wasn't happening. That's why she was slamming her body.
I think maybe that's why.
Not with JoJo. Joe was on top of it.
Oh, Joe.
She's going to be in a play.
She is? When?
Sunday.
Give the date. I want to come. What's her role?
I don't know. She's a planet. It's a corny episode. It's a very, very childish play. To the fact that I might actually invite
It's important that
she's singing too. She has a singing solo.
Let me tell you something. I have to come. It's so important for people to come and support. It doesn't matter if it's corny. It's not corny to her.
It is. She's a pet. She's mortified because she went to go see her friend who had a lit play. Like their play was lit. I was cracking up. These kids are acting. They're satire, irony. They're hitting all the cute like. And JoJo was like, "Our play is so corny."
She said that
because it's about like solar systems. She's playing Planet Earth or something ridiculous that we don't like.
She's playing Planet Earth.
Yeah. It's like, and the music is like, it's. I was like,
you didn't say that right.
Yeah, when she put the music on, I was like, oh.
I just saw her again.
Let me see your nails. I think iridescent.
They're corny. No, they're my same go-to.
Those
I
are
had to
cute.
refile them. That bitch gave me she had an attitude problem too. I should have talked about that on the podcast. The best thing for you to do with the with your Asian folks when they acting up at the nail salon, they got a little attitude. And you say, "Are you okay?" She was like, "Me?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just checking in. Are you okay?" And she was like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, good. I'm just making sure." Switch that fucking attitude right
Why?
away.
Because you made her do all 10 nails, and I was like, I don't like it.
No, she kept doing oval. And I was like, almond. Like, can there be a little bit of a point? I still had to come home and file them.
Oh.
They were like wide at the top.
Oh,
And I was like, I hate
yuck.
really wide, short nail. Ew. I was like, can you make them more narrow? And then she cut them real short. And I said, you know what? I don't know if you're okay. And then she had attitude. She like, because I said something to her. I was like, can I see? And she went, and that was when I said, are you okay? Like, bitch, these nails ain't cheap. Can I look at them? I have to say, she's the most influenced by the neighborhood in there. Everybody else is real traditional. And she the young one.
This ending of this episode is getting really racist and appropriative. I feel like we should
No,
stop
she's
now.
young and has no fucking. Oh, I didn't
she
even
acting
mean
like
racially. I mean, she's young, and these fucking young kids don't have no goddamn respect. They got attitudes, and they don't understand when they're at work and they're in a service industry that you need to be polite. It's like when you walk into a restaurant now and the bitches are on their phones. You're the hostess. Hi. Is it me?
They're addicted.
I gotta go. I'm done.
They are. We're all addicted. It's a serious problem.
No, I realize I'm just spending all this free time I've had. I've just been scrolling away. And now I won't go in my DMs.
Why?
Because I realize that once I do that, like if you send me a fire ass meme, it's usually from a page that has more fire ass memes. And then I go down that rabbit hole and then I send you more. And we're doing it together. And I'm like, if I can't really like get into this, I'm not going to read it. I'll be seeing the Sable Collective. I'm like, I gotta steer clear. It's tricky. I think I'm done.
I gotta go cry.
What?
I have to go cry. It's past my crying time.